What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Snipe Celly. My name is Dan Bradley. Alongside me tonight, Joel Fernino. Joel, how you doing, buddy?
That's me. Hi.
You're the problem. It's you.
It's me. Hi. I'm the solution. It's me. Hi. How you doing, Dan? How's it going?
Starting off strong with Taylor Swift lyrics. I think that's the first time we've ever done Taylor Swift lyrics on the show.
Me being a Swiftie. Yes, I just admitted to our entire 5 people audience that I'm a Swiftie.
We're gonna get bigger than that as the show goes on. Here, give it a minute. We're 35 seconds in. The audience will grow.
No,
I'm not worried about that at all.
That's fair. Hey, metalheads can be Swifties. I'm
absolutely. Who was it? Corey Taylor. That was like Taylor Swift kicks ass or something.
Oh no, it was David Draymond from Disturbed.
Oh well, he said that too, but I feel like Corey said it too. There's a few people.
That doesn't sound like something. Corey Taylor wouldn't hate on her, but Corey Taylor also wouldn't like go out of his way to say she's badass or anything. He might though. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, David Draymond on more than one occasion has been like, yes. Taylor Swift rocks.
Yeah, there were people. Up. Yeah, he mentioned her name and someone booed in the crowd. He's like, "You shut the fuck up. She's a badass."
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
we love the crossovers.
Dan, we're in the off season, and this might be the most packed week in between shows we've had in a long time.
The cup was awarded 8 days ago. We had NHL awards, we had NHL draft, and we had the biggest day of free agency in NHL history. And $1 billion in contracts awarded.
And $0 of it was spent by the Ducks.
Hey, now they signed their restricted free agents to less than $1 million deals.
Oh, my mistake. Stars. Oh my goodness. I couldn't imagine such unfathomable amounts of money being spent.
Gobs and gobs of cash.
$1 billion? No, that's all I have. On me. It's Benchwarmers for anybody who's never seen that movie. You should go educate yourself. But Dan, you're right. You said the NHL awards. Want to recap those real quick? Real fast? No, you don't? Oh,
Draft
you don't?
Coverage. Let's go.
You don't? Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's fine because the rightful rookie of the year won the Calder Trophy.
I was trying to come up with because it was the Hart and the Ted Lindsay went to Nathan McKinnon. Bedard got the Calder, and Quinn Hughes got the Norris.
I was so excited for that. I almost was more excited for that than I was for. Okay, no, I wasn't, but I was very excited for Quinn Hughes.
Yep, he earned it this year. I don't think there was really any debate on that one. I feel like Hart and Calder, there were debates. The other ones, not so much.
Yeah, sure there were. Uh-huh.
I mean, you look at the numbers, it was closer voting than what we've had in some other years. But, I mean, we knew the second the Hawks drafted Bedard, okay, there's your Calder winner for this year.
Hey, that's not necessarily true. You know who didn't win a Calder? You know who didn't win a Calder? Sidney Crosby. You know who didn't win a Calder? Connor McDavid.
Okay, and what happened in Connor McDavid's rookie year?
He got injured for how many weeks was it? Months?
It was half the season. He played 41 games that year.
I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying.
Well, you threw McDavid out there, so
I'm just saying.
I'm just making sure people know.
You know what? That's on me actually, because that was a stat that I think I heard Bucci throw out, and I'm like, Crosby, that's a good one because I forgot he didn't win one.
Yeah,
but David makes no sense. He was out half the season.
but I will say, I mean, it's not that Bedard didn't earn it with his offensive production. You look at the point totals, you look at those kind of numbers and where they rank among NHL rookies. Yeah, he had a damn good season. And I think there are some voters who only looked at the point totals. I think there are others who looked at it and said, look, Bedard was the best rookie this year, and that's that. However, we are going to have some beef with the people who had Bedard at 3.
Oh, yeah.
Faber at 5.
I agree.
In their voting?
No, nobody had Faber at 5, did they?
Yeah, Faber had a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th place vote.
Ew. I thought it was only Because I was like, we do have beef with anyone who had Faber or Bedard at 3 or less. No one had Bedard at 3 or less, but I thought
he had a couple of third place votes, which wasn't
3.
No.
He had 3.
He had third place votes.
Which, I just
come on now.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
That's one of my favorite Family Guy bits. It's so good.
But no, I actually had a trivia question before we moved on to the draft because it's just the awards.
Love it.
It's an easy one, but I don't know. You're not a Hawks fan, so you might not know it.
Hmm.
Who was the last player to win the Rookie of the Year as a Blackhawk?
That would have been Artemi Panarin, would it not?
Correct. And the same stupid argument was used for him as was for Kaprizov. And I don't care what team you're on or what player you are. It's the stupidest excuse people tried to use against both of them. They were too old at 24? I think they both were 25. They both were
20. They weren't that old because I think 25 is the hard.
I think Panarin was 24 or 5. So it was Kaprizov.
I think he was 24. Kaprizov.
One of them was 25 when they won it, and I remember people being like, "It's the cutoff. It's bullshit." No, it's not. Like they were a rookie by the definition of the law. If you're 30 years old and you go off for the best rookie season, I know there's a cutoff, but still, you earned it at that point. You're a rookie. That doesn't really happen. But
Kaprizov was 23, and the funny one there was people are like, he's too old. He wasn't even the oldest of the 3 finalists the year that he won it.
That's right.
Because Alex Nedeljkovic was the third player. It was him and Jason Robertson. And so those 3 for your Calder. And Nedeljkovic was the oldest of the 3, and people were mad that Kaprizov, they said he was too old to win it. And
it is what it is. But
but
and then we had a draft.
Credit where it's due. Bedard did earn the Calder this year. I hate it.
Hey, you know what? Quite frankly,
but I can be very happy with the fact that the Wild had 2 members on the all-rookie team, that they could potentially be in that boat next year with whatever Liam Ugrin and Murat Huznadinov, whatever works with them. The year after that, looking at Danila Yurov, Hunter Haight, Riley Height. Wild's prospect system is looking pretty darn good. And that didn't even include Jesper Wallstedt in that mix.
Same. I think it's pretty safe to say both our farm systems are up there in the upper echelon of the league.
Yeah. I mean, the Hawks, and we'll get into this a little later, I thought they had another very solid draft. And then they built on the success of that draft through free agency. They were, if you were ranking the teams that you expected to be most active on day 1 of free agency, I wouldn't have had the Hawks at the bottom of my list, but I don't think I would have had them as one of the top 10, or especially not top 5, but probably not even top 10 busiest teams.
We'll get to it, but Kyle Davidson said he wants to get better while still not straying away from the plan, and that is exactly what he did. That man deserves some PTO coming up after yesterday.
Let's get into it with the draft. We had our mock draft show last week, which already seems like that was ages ago, but also like just so much has happened since then.
Dan, I got to tell you, through the first 2 picks, we were 100% accurate. We clearly know what we're doing.
We did really well on those first 2 picks. And then the Anaheim Ducks took Beckett Seneke, which, we put that mock together.
You saw his reaction, right?
Yeah, I did. Oh, man. If anybody who hasn't seen that, go YouTube that one after the show.
Just the mouthing of, what? Holy fuck.
Yeah, he did not think it was going
to be him. No idea.
And in fairness, like we had talked about for months now, there is a lot of, I don't want to say parity because I don't think that's the right word to use, but the talent drop-off between the players taken between 3 and 12 in this class, there's not a ton to separate those guys. And even after Celebrini, even if you want to include Levshunov in that list, basically, Celebrini, 2 to 12, next tier.
Yeah.
And you could have pulled names out of a hat, and I think any team in that range would have been happy with who they ended up with. But I was particularly, when we put our mock together about 2 weeks before we even did the show, and then did a little bit of cleanup about a week and a half before, we had some kind of off the wall picks with what we had. Again, what did I tell you that the Ducks were going to do, though? They were going to do something different than what everybody was expecting. Pretty much everybody said
it's what they always
Lindstrom or Bouillon or Demidov. We thought it was going to be one of those three. And then
and the Ducks yet again went, ha! Gotcha.
And then they went Seneca. Yeah, they credit where it's due to the Ducks, too. They don't let their draft plans get out. People don't know what they're going to do. It wasn't until, I would say, hours before
for better
the
or
draft
for
last
worse
year that it really seemed like Leo Carlsson was going to be number 2. Before that, we were pretty much convinced it was going to be Adam Fantilli. Now, for about the third year in a row, the Ducks have made things very interesting near the top of the draft. And, like, what are they going to do? I like the pick. Don't get me wrong. I think Seneca fits a big need for that team. Legitimate first-line potential for that squad. Surprising, but I thought it was a good pick.
Mark, always the first one in.
Mark chiming in here. Love that. Everybody else who's watching here, I can see that viewer count going up. Drop in and let us know where you're watching from and say hey.
What country?
Winners and losers. Joel, the first winner that I had on my board was actually the Anaheim Ducks. So not just Beckett Seneke, but getting Stian Solberg, trading up to get him later in the first round, getting one of the biggest hitters in the draft, getting somebody who, as the Ducks have constructed their defensive group the last few years, they don't have a player in their pipeline like Stian Solberg. They have guys who are good in transition. They have guys who are good on the breakout. They have guys who will shut down defensively, but they don't have somebody who's going to run you through the boards.
Which is kind of why
Solberg is that guy.
Which is kind of why we thought they would go defenseman at the higher spot and like switch the order that they did things in, basically, is what we thought they would do. I mean, it did work out, so I agree that's definitely a winner.
There's kind of that consensus top 6 group of defensemen, and then pretty much right at the next turn, Solberg was pretty much right there on a lot of teams' lists. So the fact that they got who on paper is one of the top 7 D plus a top 3 forward in the group, that's a lot of talent for them to walk away with in the first round. And they did have to trade up to do it. But then also in the start of the second round, grabbed Lucas Pettersson, who I thought was a potential late first round pick that he might sneak into a team like Boston, Dallas, the Rangers late in that round. And then just for good measure, in the 6th round, added Austin Bernovic, who had a solid year with the Madison Capitals and is headed to St. Cloud State. I love what the Ducks did with this draft class.
I guess. Now, the question remains, how do we both feel? But I'm going to ask you first. How do you feel about your Wilds draft class? You don't have to go all the way down. Go to like the, first couple picks.
I could not believe that Zeev Bouillon fell into our laps.
You were so excited.
I was stoked. And I think most Wild fans should have been.
Hand to God, as was I. You could check the text. I was excited for you. I'm like, you know what? I hope you get them. It's not like we're going to get them. It's not like we were coming up kind of. We were 5 picks away from you. But
yeah, he definitely wasn't going to fall that far. And I think, as we
6 because together, you moved up.
Yes. So we got him at 12. Thank you, Philadelphia.
Billy G wanted their guy.
The Snipe Celly mock that we put together, we had him going at 11 to the Sharks. When I did my own mock to take all the picks because we split our picks for the show mock, but when I did my own full one,
Mm-hmm.
I had William at third. Because with the more recent information and the steam I was getting out of the Ducks camp, I thought William was going to go third. The fact that the Wild got somebody who was projected day of and was the betting favorite the day of the draft to go to the Ducks at number 3 until about 2 hours before when Seneke started flying up the board. A legitimate top 5 talent in the draft, and the Wild got him at 12. So outstanding draft value there. I think they really nailed that pick. Loved the Aaron Kiviharju pick. Somebody who, again, injury, undersized player. He's 5'9", but
I love this. Wait, do you have to take a sip? Is it this? We got a new comment.
Oh, here we go. City Life Project checking in here.
City Life Project. Wild fans freaking out about how horrendous this weekend was is laughable. The most triggered and out of touch hockey fan base on the planet. Absolutely.
How do you feel?
Oh, by the way, preface it with he or she loves this.
Isha. It's Isha.
Oh, it's Isha. Oh,
Yeah.
duh. It's Isha. Okay. I forgot he goes. I remember it being under another name, so never mind. I forgot it was Isha. Hi, Isha. But yeah, exactly. Amazing draft. And it was. Mm-hmm. You guys landing Zeev Buium where you did, only having to trade just a tiny bit to move up one spot. Worth it to get your guy. When you have the conviction and that is the best player on your board, and you have, and they clearly had reason to believe that Philly was going to take him.
Well, and they did this a couple years ago too, where they moved up 2 spots with
Mateo,
the Oilers.
Get your ass out of here.
Hey, who's got the Natty?
Natty Light?
National championship.
Oh, whatever.
Buium won the national championship with Denver.
It's a team championship.
Still won it.
Yeah. And Levshonov got Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, well, that's easier for him to get it.
6-1, half a dozen.
NCHC.
Yeah, hey, that's fine. We'll see.
We're throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree with Isha here. Like, and maybe this is because I'm not on Twitter anymore and don't see some of the same vitriol. I
can confirm it.
Between Reddit and YouTube and everything, I thought people were really happy with what the Wild did.
Mark was happy with what he did.
Yeah. That was that was Kiviharju who we were talking about.
When I heard that, because when did you grab him? It was 20.
He was in the 4th round.
Was in the 4th round? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was somebody who was like late first, early second is what people were thinking, but
plummeted.
Injury, and as we talked about last week, legal midget.
That's true.
He's 5'9". So.
Oh no. He's automatically a bust, Dan. You're screwed.
But everybody said he's one of the smartest players in the draft. He's going to be a captain for Finland's national team.
Yep.
Like, kid's got it. And Brackett has made such a point of drafting guys who have that leadership element about them. So I feel great about that. And I think Hawks also had a very solid draft. I'm not going to clump on your touchdown call here. So tell me your thoughts on Chicago's picks here.
I loved it. It was a nerd draft. And I say that because that's kind of what Kyle Davidson is. He is a hockey nerd.
Great way to put it.
He is a hockey nerd, and that's what you need to be as a GM and as a young GM. And so far, he hasn't obviously, I get it. The jury's out. He's got all these draft picks. I think it was 8 first round. He's picked 8 first round draft picks in the last 3 drafts. That's nuts. So that's crazy enough, but just the way he goes about his thought process, how he directs this, how he has his, directors of scouting work and everything. The draft we had was the nerdy draft, and I love that. I get it. Demidov would have been flashy as all hell, and it would have been awesome. But it's not and by the way, Isha calling out your fan base, I will call out my own fan base. We have plenty of them who were shit draft, fire Kyle Davidson. What a horrible pick. How do you not pick Demidov? And who the hell is this Sasha Boivert? kid. It's Boisvert, by the way. Boisvert. I learned how to say it the day after when it was listening to the CHGO guys. No,
you could have listened to it when I said it on our mock show.
I thought you said Boisvert.
No,
Boisvert.
Boisvert.
Oh, I thought you said Boisvert. Okay.
No,
well, I misheard you. Yeah. So like
I had it because I spent so much time going through to make sure names right when we did it.
Oui. Which is actually funny. He speaks
Isha,
with zero French accent, by the way.
As long as we've got Isha watching here and you make the French comment. How about no QMJHL players taken in the first round this year?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Like, when is the last time that happened? That was...
Tabernacle.
What was it we used to say on
Jesse
NHL?
chiming in? Jesse, it's been like 3 years since you chimed in. I appreciate the chime in, buddy. And yeah,
welcome back.
We're getting to that. Don't you worry. Big Rig is a Blackhawk, and I am excited for Pat Maroon. Anyway.
Yeah, Mateo's saying here, blew out his knee on a slapper in practice and then took a skate to the neck. Kiviharu is tough as nails. Yeah, like,
and it is.
How can you not be rooting for this kid?
No, exactly. And but Dan, he's 5'9". He's just clearly gonna fail. QMJHL is trash. Take fighting out of the league, and you are dead.
Yeah, that's Isha for you.
No, I'm right there with Isha in that camp. I will die on that hill with you, Isha. But no, I love the draft. Levshunov at 2, it made sense. Or Levshunov, it made sense. It was cool. I like it. He's been compared to, I mean, if he could become Brent Seabrook or better, that's amazing. He was imperative to those cups. That was the thing. My thing to the Chicago fan base, and there's not many that are being all pissy and stupid about it, but there were some. If you actually like understand hockey and you say you're a fan, go back and look at the 2010, 13, and 15 championship teams. I get it. Taves and Kane, best players overall on the teams. Understandably so. Yes. Cornerstones. Yes. And I'm also putting Hossa in his own realm. He's a demigod. He gets his own part of the mountain. Boston always giving players away to Chicago and Minnesota.
I mean, by the way, the trade that sent Vinny Lettieri back to Boston included a 4th round pick swap. Is the pick the Wild used to take Kiviharu? So
yeah,
thanks again, Boston. Yeah. I'm hoping it worked pretty well. The last time Boston and Minnesota had a pick swap that was outside the first round.
I'm still thanking you for Nick Foligno and Taylor Hall preemptively if he stays healthy.
I like this one too. Isha saying that Stevie Lescover is the steal of the draft.
I don't even know who that is.
Let me throw the numbers at you here.
I don't even know who that is.
He was taken by the Wild in the 6th round.
Okay.
6'4", 207 defenseman. His stats with Mississauga this year: 2 goals, 10 assists, 113 penalty minutes in 61 games.
My God.
That's Isha's kind of player.
Hell yeah.
Lescovar versus Rempe. That's going to be sick.
Ding, ding. Mortal Kombat. I'm buying that paper. Yeah, I loved it. But, my point. We don't win those cups without Keith, Seabrook, or Chalmerson. What you just drafted in Levshunov has the potential to be one of those 3. He's more of an all-around, like he's got the offensive game, but he's also very shut down defensively. You have the more offensive style in Kevin Korchinski. Hopefully that continues to develop. And then now you have Vlasic, who's kind of been more compared to a Chalmerson so far.
You can see the framework of it coming together, but
yes, exactly.
It's the kind of draft where, you don't go out and get the flashy, game breaker type player, but you need to have guys playing those roles on your team.
Yeah.
You don't win without that.
At 2, I had my 2 hopes. I kind of knew we weren't going to get. Oh God, how do you say his name again?
Demidov?
No. At 18, remember I was hoping.
Sasha Boisvert?
No. That's
Michael
who we picked. I wanted Michael Hage, but the other guy who I kind of knew wasn't going to drop to us beat Brandon.
Michael Brandon-Nigord?
That's it. Like he started to fall.
Nailed that pick. And this is the third year in a row that Snipe Celly has predicted which player the Red Wings are taking. So
you did nail that pick.
Nailed Danielson last year.
He started to fall. He didn't fall enough, but he did start to fall, and I kind of had like a little sliver of hope. And then I wasn't sad. Like I kind of knew. I'm like, all right, it was. Where's Detroit again? 11 to 12. Where were they? 10. No, 15.
When Brandon-Nigord went, he was 15.
15, yeah. So it was like close, but it still wasn't too close where I got pissy about it. Hage, that was the thing too. Hage and Cole Yzerman were on the board when we got to 18. And then, Sacha Wavere gets selected. And I mean, I started looking up more on him. I kind of fell in love with the pick. I liked it. Center depth, Yeah,
Chicago tends to do all right when they draft centers who play college puck at North Dakota.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, just a tiny bit. That was actually what made me first fall in love with it when I saw the fact roll up there that he's just committed to North Dakota. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And then in typical Kyle Davidson fashion, I'm sitting here watching or listening to everything go off to the side, and then I hear we have another. I love the trade horn, by the way. I personally love.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna really suck when they don't do the draft at the Sphere next year, and they don't do it with anybody in the building, and it's all remote.
Can they maybe just do it at the Sphere every year?
They gotta change that. It was incredible.
It was, except for that Sharks fan who was clearly way too close to the mic.
That and like we need an entirely different panel. Like, can we not have ESPN carrying it?
No, just take out Pucci. Everybody else was fine.
He can go.
Okay.
Leah
also,
can go.
Yeah, Leah Hextall can go too. Everybody else was great. Basically, my whole thing was I was firmly planted when it was simply just Weeksy and Emily Kaplan talking. Then the minute they stopped talking, I tuned out.
Megan Chaikin knows her stuff too. Like she
totally gets
the analytical
I've never
side of the game and digs into that.
Listen, I've never heard of her before until now. Is she always? Was she just like a guest?
They don't put her on very often, but they do for stuff like this.
Then that would be why. Yeah, because she was great.
She needs to be on more.
Yeah. So I loved. We came right back into the first round. Took Merrick Van Acker, and I don't know. With hearing how gritty of a player he can be, he's probably a good 2 years away. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that pick when I dove deep, and that's it. Like I loved our draft. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that the Chicago Blackhawks.
I didn't want to put it up while you were talking, but I had to put it up.
Edna mode. He's so right though. It's so accurate.
Anyway,
the Blackhawks from Chicago in the third round, in their first pick of the third round, took John Mustard.
Great name.
That is fantastic. I literally tweeted out the Hulk from Endgame. It's like I was made for this. You will be welcomed in Chicago, John Mustard.
Yeah, mustard and hot dogs just go together.
Yep. Don't put ketchup anywhere near them.
So
the draft was good.
Like the Flyers pick, drafted a legit center. They got Jet Lachenko. That's who they took at 13.
Mm-hmm. Jesse in here. I want to hear what he thought of that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but again, when you have somebody that you like, you go get them. And I thought it was maybe a little bit early, especially Hellenius was still on the board. Hage was still on the board. Yzerman was still on the board. Brandon-Nigord, but it is a very Danny Briere pick. And Lachenko has a ton of upside as a prospect. I think Flyers fans are really going to like him. I just think the only reason that they didn't want to take Buium at 12 was they didn't want to get burned by an NCAA guy again. And have to, like, when they shipped out Cutter Gauthier, I think they got cold feet a little bit and didn't want to take Buium.
Yeah,
so, and I can't blame them for that, honestly.
they also overachieved last year, so it kind of is one of those. Also, we got Joey. Joey's here. I have the odds. John Mustard puts ketchup on his hot dog at -100. I don't want to hear that.
I'd take +120 on that. He doesn't.
+120.
Well,
wait,
because if it's -100, wouldn't it be? Or no, I guess it'd be minus.
It's favored. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear.
You're right.
-100.
Minus. I
like that.
I'm going the wrong way. I shut my brain off at 6 o'clock and was not
thinking
about betting stuff.
Hey, we're just flowing, man. We're in the off season. I get it. We got
off-season vibes. The vacation starts right now.
The awards, the draft, and the craziest free agency in the last couple of years. But
literally ever by dollar.
We're vibing, man. We're vibing. But no, I agree. I think both our teams had great drafts, in my opinion. We definitely continued to fill our farm system. And it didn't happen, but I'd be remiss not mentioning what national pundits and a lot of the Chicago insiders were tweeting about, that Kyle Davidson actually did try. He did try and move up to 4. He tried to trade with Columbus, and it sounds like he would have taken Demidov, thus taking Levshinov and Demidov and putting everyone's whole which one do they take to bed by just taking both. And it sounds like it was, I don't know how close. I'll use the term loosely. We don't necessarily know how close it was, but we do know that the offer was an unprotected first-round pick from next year. And I believe it also involved 18, and that was it.
I was told there was another. I thought it was their.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. 18 was not involved. It was unprotected.
It was the unprotected first, and then
from next year,
and it
would be our. It was our unprotected first. So not the the next round of. Was this? I think this was our last year of Lightning picks, but we have I think Toronto's next year. I think it is. Yeah. That's right. This year was the last of the Lightning pick at the later pick. But hey, man, that trade, hopefully it looks like it did. I mean, that Brandon Hagel trade drafted us Oliver Moore and now Sasha Boisvert. I hope that turns out to be Boisvert.
Yep. You're going to get it. You got time.
Big shout out to Dan for hanging out with the soda pot. Yes, I'm sorry.
You guys always absolutely crush it and roll out the red carpet for the soda pod live stream.
I can confirm that even as a Chicago guy, I have tuned in. I didn't tune in this past one. Sorry about that, but I did tune in the last 2 drafts, and you guys kill it.
I could listen to Spogsy talk prospects for.
By the way, Dan gets his invite on the show. I may be a Chicago guy, but where's my invite, Isha? Come on, next year.
You're invited to the comment section.
No. I need a voice. Yes. Happy birthday, America.
And happy Canada Day yesterday. We're a little late on that one. But
quite frankly, that's more important in my own opinion, but we won't get into that.
Canada Day is, this might be controversial. I think Canada does Canada Day and Thanksgiving better than the U.S. does.
Well, here's also the thing. At this point where we are as U.S. citizens, Dan, I want to move to Canada anyway.
Boom. There you go. You're in next year. But
yes! Let's go! Hey, and it's not like it's going to be a year where we have the first overall pick and we're picking a generational talent, so you won't have to be annoyed by my presence.
Yeah, this will be the year that they win the lottery and move up to number 2 again.
I really don't want that because that means we were bad enough to be that close to 1. And
you're holding out hope that 2 years from now it's Gavin Brindley.
No. What's the guy's? What's the guy's name you sent today?
So what?
What's the guy's name you sent us today? Who the 2026?
Yeah, Gavin Brindley.
Oh, what?
That's his name.
It's not Gavin Brindley, is it?
Yeah.
I thought. What? You mean Gavin McKenna?
Gavin McKenna. Shoot, where did I get Gavin Brindley from?
It's like Gavin Brindley was drafted already, I think.
Yeah, he's with the Blue Jackets. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like,
Gavin McKenna. Sorry.
I was like, Gavin Brindley is in the league, Dan.
like I said,
you are in vacation
brains
mode.
off. I'm on vacation.
That is okay. But yes, Gavin McKenna. No, because this is a great segue into free agency. With what we just did, I don't expect to be in the basement of the league this year.
We're not going to be fucking suck this year.
Oh no, we suck again.
No, the Hawks making surprising amount of moves, completely overhauling their forward group
and defensive group.
Added Alec Martinez, added TJ Brody, added Tyler Bertuzzi, brought back Teuvo Teravainen.
I am so excited.
That was, I think you were happier for that one than any of the others, and I'm not even surprised at all that was the case. But
we should have never traded him in the first place. It was a combo of Stan Bowman pulled the trigger on trades like they were candy, just like he gave out 8-year contracts like they were candy.
Was that the Scott Darling trade? Getting Darling from Carolina and Teravainen was part of the deal out? Or was that a different deal?
No, because Darling and Teravainen won the cup together in 2015.
Okay.
We sent him out. I remember now. It was the sweetener for getting Bickle's contract off of us. That's what it was.
Okay.
Which I hate it. Like you could have done something more there. You could have absolutely not sacked, but it worked out. We were on the downturn anyway, at least 2 years later. And then he was able to go over to Carolina, who was really on the up and up. And he was able to develop there this was the only knock I really had on Q's coaching style. He was way too quick on the young kids to just be like, nope, you're sitting out. He was way too hard on some of the younger talent. So I'm so happy he's back. He's 29 years old. We signed him to a 3-year deal, which I honestly love. That's the other thing I loved too. Out of all those signings you said, and I mean, literally, I have the list up right here. You were going through it, but I can just rattle it off for everybody. Tyler Bertuzzi, 4 years. First one of the day.
That one surprised me a little bit just in the dollar amount, but it's not a bad move.
Tyler Bertuzzi.
Might be a little much, but like a decent fit and somebody who's instant top 6.
I heard the best comp, but I'm going down the list. So 5.5 at 4 years. I'll take it. The 4 year, part of that too is like he wanted to be here. And I'm getting to that. So Tyler Bertuzzi, 5.5 by 4 years. I'll take it. He's 25, I believe. 26?
26, I think.
He's
been in the league. This will be his 9th season in the league. I know.
Oh, maybe he's older than I thought. Then
I looked that one up the other day.
He's 29. He's 29. Okay, so 4 years, 29. You know what? I'm okay with that. So same thing is 4 years at 29, and then Teuvo Teravainen was 5.4 mil for 3 years. He's also 29. Both great fits. Both are going to be in the top 6 at least this year and presumably next year, depending on how each of them does and how the development of the younger kids goes.
Yeah, if those guys are in your top 6,
Teuvo,
3 years from now,
well, yeah,
you're okay with that, just because you know the young gun's on the way. 4 years from now, you'll be good depth in your bottom 6.
I would even argue subtract 1 from each of those statements. If Teuvo is still in the top 6 in 2 years, that's fine. Teuvo, from a skill perspective, to me, is better than Tyler Bertuzzi.
I agree.
From a grit perspective, though, that's where Tyler Bertuzzi I love. The comp I heard today from the CHGO guys, the Tyler Bertuzzi signing was kind of similar-ish to the Max Domi signing. In a way. I think Tyler Bertuzzi is probably a little better than Max Domi.
I've never been super high on either of those guys.
I loved Max Domi when he was here.
But I see the comparison. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I liked it. It was surprising. I didn't expect that. It took me a second too, but it was good. Teuvo, absolutely ecstatic. And then you touched on it a little bit. Alec Martinez, $4 million for a year contract. I love that. Like, I get it. I think he's 35. He's clearly in the twilight of his career. That's fine. Put that type of veteran presence in the locker room combined with a Nick Foligno, and now you have a veteran presence like Alec Martinez, who's won a couple cups with the kid defenseman. Foligno for the forwards, Alec Martinez for the defenseman. I love it. Only for a year, fine. And then
that's a guy you can flip at the deadline too, knowing how he plays.
Yeah,
you can get a second rounder easy if he's having a halfway decent season.
Exactly. Okay, that's somebody you absolutely would like to rent if you're trying to run for a cup and you need a little bit of extra defensive depth. Absolutely.
Yeah, he knows a thing or two about playing in the playoffs.
Just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then we get to Jesse's comment. Big rig, baby. This one surprised the shit out of me. Pat Maroon. Yeah. Only $1.3 million, 1-year deal again. More veteran leadership presence. He will insert himself into that room and absolutely be a leader, hold people accountable, and I am ecstatic for that. We had that a little bit, but we needed a hell of a lot more, and we got it.
And again, potential deadline move if you've got the young guys playing well and looking for more ice time, but also somebody that you don't mind if you keep him around because good player, great in the locker room, as you mentioned.
Yep.
I had a point I was going to bring up during our draft winners and losers comment, and I want to go back to this one. I don't know if you caught this. You mentioned Max Domi, which is why I thought of this. Fathers and sons in the draft. Utah selecting Teach Iginla. So the franchise that had Shane Doan and Jerome that wasn't it. What am I thinking of?
What? They had Shane Doan's son. Yeah, you're right. I forgot his name. I forgot his first name, but yeah, they had Shane Doan's son.
Yeah, so they had, but it was somebody else there though.
Oh,
never mind. Forget it.
Oh, well, I mean, you were right though, because I remember when Shane Doan, I forgot his son's name, but when Shane Doan's son, Josh, I remember them covering his rookie lap.
Who was it? Because there was somebody who it was like both of their dads played in the NHL and they're now teammates. But like Stone and Iginla didn't play together.
No.
So I don't know. Never mind. Forget it.
I mean, Stone and Iginla played at the same time.
they did. They just didn't play in the same organization.
Right. But
dang, what was that? I'm going to try and figure out what that
was. I'll finish up my crazy free agency frenzy that was the Blackhawks. Then we got Craig Smith, 1 by 1. I'll take it. Again, some grit. Here's the theme here. No one's going to fuck with Bedard now. That's pretty much what the half of this free agency was. Pat Maroon, Tyler Bertuzzi, Craig Smith. Don't mess with Bedard. You're screwed.
Okay, so I think it was just people commenting on just the Hall of Famers in Shane Doan and Jerome Iginla, and now both of their kids. Yeah. I guess that's all it was. So never mind. I was reading a little too much into it, but still cool.
Yeah, but so Craig Smith. And then I told you it was coming. Thank God, because Soderblom needs to go down to Rockford and get his friggin' confidence back. We sign Laurent Brossoit.
Yeah, that's another one of the all-time names.
3.3 mil for 2 years. I love that. Because that's not a here. I will pull this up for you really quick. I had it open real quick.
Well, you're pulling that up. I'm just going to say Brossoit is one of those like fringe starters where like if he's one of your starters for a long period of time, you're not like, holy crap, we're screwed, the season's lost.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like I said, we'd be grabbing a backup in free agency. It's not even necessarily a backup. He's like a 1A, 1B.
Yeah, like, he could easily rock a tandem with Mrazek. And if both of those guys are playing 40 games for you next year,
that's what I'm saying.
You don't feel bad about it.
No, and Mrazek, great year last year, all things considered. It was a contract year. He got the contract. We extended him for 2 years. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And he still played well after the
exactly. He's not a world beater, but he's like, we didn't pick him up to be the next goalie for the future. We need a couple backstops.
To be consistent.
Exactly. We need a few backstops with some good experience so that the two guys in the system that we're leaning on to be the future can have their time to develop, and that's Drew Comezzo and Adam Gahan.
Not to mention Jackson Stauber in there too.
It doesn't sound like that's happening.
Oh,
He went to free agency. We didn't. He was an RFA, and we didn't tender him a qualifying offer. I'll do it. I'll do it towards the end of the whole free agency talk when we talk about who's left and whatever. I have the list of our RFAs that we did not tender offers to. Some of them have already been signed by other teams today. Yeah. One of them, I loved Mackenzie Entwistle. The Florida Panthers signed Mackenzie Entwistle. I'm a little. He was just a really like good effort type of kid, but it is what it is. Anyway, Laurent Brossoit, last year with the Jets, 23 games played. 23 games played. He went 15-5 with a 2.0 goals against average and a 927 save percentage. Like, that's fantastic.
People didn't pay attention to how good Winnipeg was defensively this year. Like, they saw Hellebuck's numbers and are like, dang, that's Hellebuck being Hellebuck. But like,
yep.
You look at Brossoit's numbers, like part of that is Brossoit's a good goalie too. But the other part of that is the product of the Winnipeg defensive structure.
Yeah.
That group is outstanding. That might be top to bottom. It's a top 3 unit in the league, honestly.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I loved it. And then towards the end of the day, you mentioned it already. We also signed TJ Brody in there. Like, here's my thing. Alec Martinez and TJ Brody. It's not completely overhauling the defense like we did kind of the offensive lines, but those two are a hell of a lot better to be back there than the human pylon that is Jared Tenorti, and then the just, meh, he's a guy in Nikita Zaitsev. I would much rather have these other two.
Yeah, upgrades for sure across the board.
Mateo,
like we said it was a 35-point gap between Minnesota and Chicago last year.
Yeah.
Chicago easily closed that gap by 15 points, maybe more.
I was, again, another CHGO thing. I was listening to him today. They got asked a question. I want to ask you the question. I have an answer to it too, but I want to hear yours.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, things have to. Mark, another Jared Tenorti, another guy from Boston. Yeah, well, you could have kept him.
Yikes.
Obviously, we still need to see where some of the young guns fit in, which we will. That'll kind of round itself out. Because, like, to me, Wyatt Kaiser is NHL ready. He'll have a spot in there. I think you got to give Nolan Allen another a chance to play a little bit this year. Ethan
Kaiser's
Delmas
pretty close. He might be the number 7 guy, but he's close.
He is. He's benefited from going up and down. Not everybody does that, but he has benefited from kind of going up and down. I want to see Ethan Del Mastro play a little bit of NHL this year. He was pretty damn good down in Rockford last year. I want to see him play this year. He should have a spot. Those 3. It should be kind of a cycle between those 3 being slotting in and out of that, third pairing, depending on how they do. And maybe Kevin Korchinski starts the year in Rockford. I think that could help him. Now he can actually do it. Now he's allowed to go start in Rockford. So, Deanna, what's up? The alarm went off.
Welcome back.
So yeah, I don't know. I love it. We got considerably better. It's not like we're winning the cup or anything, but this team is a hell of a lot better than they were last year, at least on paper. So I ask you, if someone asked you this, and I have an answer, but we finished with, what was it, 55 points? 53? 52?
I get the standings up here. Give me just
let me know really quick. I can't. It was 50, was it 4? No, it was 50. 52, I think.
It was in the 50s.
Yeah, 52 to 55, I think.
52.
52. 52 points last year.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a huge jump. It doesn't happen in the NHL very often, year to year. Someone gave you the over under 70 points.
Over.
Really?
Next season?
Wow. You actually believe in them more than I do. I would say
I think 73 is attainable.
that's a 21 point swing.
Yes, I genuinely think they close the gap by about 20 points.
I agree to an extent. I still would say under, but not by much, like a 68, 69, and I'm not trying to make a joke.
No, it's still nice of you to put some thought into it.
So I would say like a 68, 69, I could see.
I think 73 is realistic.
See, Deanna's with me. Slightly under, not much, but slightly. That's kind of where I temper my expectations.
My other thought is they're going to get a healthy Taylor Hall back in the lineup.
Well, we think.
We think.
At least for game one, yeah, you're right. But beyond that, we don't really know.
But theoretically, if he is healthy this year,
yes,
you have that. You have, Connor Bedard has been through a year of the NHL, knows what to expect. He's going to go into it and continue to grow and progress as a player.
Right.
I look at all of the other free agency moves. That just steadies things and helps guys fit more into a sensible roster. You don't have guys who are third line checking forwards being thrust into second and first line roles being asked, why aren't you scoring goals?
Right.
Because that's not your role and it's never been. Yep. But as far as shutting things down defensively, like Jason Dickinson was a +2 for the Hawks last year. All of the other defensive issues aside, he managed to be a +2. Is he going to be a guy who's going to go out there and score you 50 points in a season? No. But when you can let him play in that shutdown role, he can do that as well as anybody.
He was a breakout, and I'm so happy he's staying for at least a little bit. Like, I want him a part of hopefully the near future success. Like, by the way, that dude can dangle. A couple of games actually almost every game I went to. Two of the like 4 or 5 games I went to last season, dude's pulling off toe drag snipes, and I'm like, that's not Patrick Kane.
Yeah. But again, because when you can put guys in positions that are best suited to their skill set, which is the biggest thing that the Hawks did in free agency, and you can see them doing it through the draft too. Like, Davidson's plan for this team makes so much sense.
That's the other thing I like too. And Deanna mentions it, like she's jealous of like the size that we pulled in free agent. Absolutely. And I listed off everything for you. We didn't give out a contract more than 4 years. Hell, we only gave out 1 4 and 1 3. The rest were ones, and then Brossoit got a 2. Nothing long term. Nobody and everybody that's in their mid 30s got 1. In the twilight of their careers. Like, and the cool thing is they're going to go into that room, be a voice, be a veteran leader, and they wanted to be here. Clearly, they signed here. Someone like Pat Maroon or Alec Martinez, like, they don't have to come to a rebuilding Chicago. They clearly wanted to, though, and that means something to the guys that are already here. And Nick Foligno said it best last year. He went off. He was pissed at the end of the year and basically all but said, like, things need to change around here. And Davidson was like, "You're right," and just went and did it.
Yeah, and he saw areas of his team that had that need and addressed them and made it a point to get the player in the draft who is going to hold that role in a couple of years.
Yep. By the way, I
find somebody now to fill it over.
I hope, and I believe he is. I actually think it's all but confirmed, but I hope he does go back to Michigan State, Levshunov.
Yes.
I think it helps. I don't want, unless he, well, actually, I was going to say, unless like he goes to camp and is just this insane world beater. But the thing is he can't go to camp and do college. Like, they have to make that decision in the summer. You can't do both.
Yeah.
So I hope he goes back to Michigan State. He should get to experience that. I like that idea. Like, let him go play 1 more year at Michigan State.
Yeah. He'll be at the development camp, I would think.
It's true. The power of an angry Fligs, Foligno. He's got the scary dad eyes. He really does.
He does.
He really does. How about you? I know. Sorry, I went on and on and on about.
No, it's all good. I'm glad that we got to get into that because
it was it's tough to not because they signed like half the free agency roster.
They did. I was going to take 2 seconds to talk about Nashville.
I wanted to bring it up as well, because if you were going to ask me who won free agency, despite all the moves we made, I think Nashville won free agency.
The three that I had for big winners were Nashville, Chicago, and Washington. And with Washington, part of that as well is the trades that they made, bringing in Chikrin and Mangiapane.
Yeah.
But they signed Matt Roy, they signed Logan Thompson, they signed Brandon Duhaime, who I love Brandon Duhaime.
I know you do.
I thought they had a solid day of free agency. Nashville,
oh my God,
going Stamkos and Marchessault.
That one of them would have surprised the hell out of me. It did surprise because I heard Stamkos' name first going to Nashville. Both? That's insane.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be a problem.
They do have one big problem that they're going to need to address, the elephant in the room, which is they just gave Saros a massive extension. They just signed Scott Wedgwood in free agency, which basically means Yaroslav Askarov is going to be AHL goaltender again next season. He is pretty adamant that he is ready to be playing in the NHL. The organization does not feel that that is the case. And now for the second year in a row, it sounds like they have been shopping Askarov at the draft. I have my own biases about this kid. I love him. I want to see him succeed. And I think Nashville knows, like, hey, we need to figure something out here, whether that's, is he going to be up and we send Wedgwood down? Is that going to be – because here's the other thing with how long they've extended Saros now. You've used high draft capital to get Askarov and may not be playing him. That's going to present a problem too.
I agree. I mean, could you see him traded? Could you see? I mean, obviously Nashville would want something insane in return, but like
they would.
I know how much you've sang Askarov's praises. He could be worth what they ask. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Kyle Davidson, I'm at least picking up the phone and having a light conversation.
I think Deanna's in the same boat that you are here.
Yeah,
he's been so good. I love his personality. He had the shutout and he tipped down the net and started doing that to close the net at the end of the game.
That was amazing.
He had doing the bench press with the crossbar.
Yep, that's incredible.
Just goalie personality. We love it. And
absolutely.
And to Deanna's point too about the unsteadiness in the postseason, yeah, that's been a point of concern too.
Askarov and Line swap. Interesting. By the way, Dan,
I think if Columbus retains half and they get a third team involved so that Nashville is only paying 25% of the deal, and maybe Columbus throws in another mid-tier prospect, not one of their, not your Fantillis.
Fantilli for Askarov.
Not your Gavin Brindleys, as I fumbled earlier in the show.
Fantilli for Askarov, 1-for-1.
The deal was 1-for-1.
Please don't do that. I don't want Fantilli in my division.
Yeah, that would be a big.
Yeah,
it'd be a big move. But
Mark has a really good point. I do want to call that out too. I do think Boston did have a huge win in free agency as well. Boston won by a mile. 2025 Cup champs. Guys, book it now. Put a hundo on it. I mean, I will pull up FanDuel when Dan starts riffing about something, but really quick, that was huge to me, landing Zadorov and Elias Lindholm. Zadorov's not like insane, but on a good team, he is very good. He was decent enough on a mid or a low, very much in the down spiral Hawks team, and he was still pretty damn good. So, yeah.
He plays Boston Bruins hockey.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like if you say, hey, describe to me what somebody who plays for the Boston Bruins and is a defenseman plays like, you're pretty much describing Zadorov.
Quite literally.
So that one made a lot of sense. The Lindholm move, no surprise there at all. They get their center that they needed.
So the Bruins odds to win the cup next year. Well, they're not in the top 5.
Which might mean there's some value there.
I would say I would toss a tiny amount on it. Just take a guess.
You're on DraftKings?
FanDuel.
Oh, okay.
Just take a guess.
Well, you do that, and then I'm going to go to DraftKings, and we're going to do a little odds shopping here and try and compare. See where we get the better deal.
What are you thinking FanDuel has them at?
Off the top of my head, I genuinely have no idea.
The Bruins on FanDuel to win the cup are plus 2,200.
They are only plus 2,000 on DraftKings, so better deal there on FanDuel.
Absolutely, and we got Mark over here saying put a hundo on it. $100 wins you a cool $2,200. So I don't know, man. Maybe. Actually, Mateo brings up a good point. What was Stamkos's deal again? It was
4x8.
4x8. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but
like he's still playing at a very high level. At how old is he now? 32.
I think 32. Yeah. Who does FanDuel have as the favorites in their numbers? Give me a top 5.
1 second.
Because I see a team in here that is a massive overpay in their odds that I think should be gone.
So the favorite on FanDuel right now is, you guessed it, tied at plus 900 is the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. That's boring.
Yep, it's 850 for the Oilers and 900 for the Panthers here.
Yep. Right below that, we got the Stars at plus 1,000.
Plus 1,100, better on DraftKings for that one.
The Devils are at plus 1,100.
Devils plus 1,200, DraftKings.
The Avs are also plus 1,100.
The Avalanche are plus 1,300 on DraftKings, and I think if you are picking the Avalanche to win the Cup next year, you are throwing away your money.
I would agree.
I don't think the Avalanche make it out of the second round next year. They may not even make it to the first round because I don't know if you know their cap situation. They are screwed cap-wise right now. Yeah. They have 11 forwards and 5D under contract, and they have $330K in cap room to do it. Something like 6 or 7 of their forwards have no move clauses.
Ooh.
Their defensemen, like 3 of the 5 that they have no move clauses. They are so screwed cap-wise. And worth it because they went out and got their cup. But man, are they going through it now.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't know what's going to happen with Landeskog. Plus, you don't know what's going to happen with Valeri Nichushkin.
Mm-hmm.
If Colorado is not they're not a cup contender next year in my book. Not without some big changes along the way.
Hot take 2, Carolina Panthers.
Flag on the play.
Football joke.
Exactly. That's why I did it.
Hey, that's the next big sport that's up. All right. Carolina Hurricanes are at plus 1,400, and I also would say that that's throwing away your money.
Yeah, all of the
Gensel gone,
they had to go through.
Yeah, Gensel gone.
Roster overhaul. I don't see it.
Teravainen gone. Slavin gone.
Pesci.
All signs are pointing to Marty Necas also gone, but
yeah,
I don't really know.
But also they lost all those guys, so maybe now they do have the room to sign Necas. So who knows?
Yeah, but then it's all right, go out there and prove to us that you're a top line guy. I don't know who you're going to play with, but go prove it. Go. Goodbye.
Yeah, needle trending downward for Carolina in my book.
Yeah, I think that window's starting to shut. Dan, we haven't gotten into how the Wild did in free agency.
No, but the good news is the Wild didn't do much, so we don't have a whole lot to talk about there.
But you know what? They did more than the Ducks.
They did do more than the Ducks. The Ducks are still $7 million under. They just made a trade today too to try and get closer to the cap, and they're still $7 million under the cap. Unless you're going to sign Tarasenko to a 1-year $7 million deal. Like what Ottawa did, and look at how that worked out for Ottawa. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, they sent it. They end up sending him to a cup champ. He's got 2 cups now.
That's one of the rare midseason deadline top 6 forward type moves that worked out to get a cup. That was a rarer one.
Antoine Vermette, baby.
the Wild did sign Yakov Trenin, 4 years, $3.5 million. Maybe a slight overpay on the Wild's part, given that the guy's career high is 24 points in a season. But that was also a year he had 17 goals and 7 assists. So, I mean, guy can shoot. His big draw is being a penalty killer. The Wild's penalty kill was brutal last year. And it has been trending downward the last couple of years, but the wheels really fell off there this year. So I don't mind the Trenin signing. I think my bigger issue is the term of it versus the dollar amount of it. 4 years for a bottom 6 forward, when looking at the young guys that they're going to have coming through the next few years, to me, it was a little long on the term, but maybe you had to get a 4-year deal or you weren't going to get them. So
yeah.
But they needed somebody to address the penalty kill. But they also didn't handcuff themselves too bad. But I also look at, okay, they've already locked up Gaudreau, Hartman, Foligno, Johansson. They've committed to those guys for multiple years beyond this one. They need those guys to be better. If they play like they did 2 years ago, Wild are back in the playoffs next year, which is saying something, because the Central might be the best division in the league next season. It really might.
It really might, which is weird to say when it was.
Nashville got dramatically better. Chicago got dramatically better. Utah got dramatically better. Minnesota, if Trenin stabilizes the penalty kill, that's a better team, and getting healthy, because my God, were they hurt last year.
It's a little weird to say that Utah's in our division. Like, I get it. It's literally, it's Arizona, but like, it's weird.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not going to last long. They will be moving whenever Atlanta gets a team again or whatever else happens.
The next expansion, whenever it is, it'll be a thing. But yeah, I appreciate that they didn't go overboard. There was a lot of steam on David Perron being somebody that the Wild would have brought in. I am glad that they didn't. Not that I don't like Perron as a player. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's a fit for the Wild. And he's somebody who got a multi-year deal, and the Wild would not have been able to pull that one off to get him here. So I'm glad they didn't overpay to bring somebody in for 1 year. So I'll take it.
I'd be remiss without mentioning Toronto did an un-Toronto thing. They signed a defenseman that doesn't score goals. Chris Tanev.
I was thinking Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and I'm going, are you doing a sarcastic one here?
No.
Is there a more Leaf signing than OEL? I mean, come on.
No, you're right. But they also brought in Chris Tanev's one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. So that's great. Good for you.
Yeah, that was a good move.
What? That's not a Toronto move.
No, they would have tried to get 2 Oliver Ekman-Larssons in years past.
Yeah. Oh, you know who they would drool over? A Darnell Nurse.
Don't you put that one out there. You'll have Oilers fans haunting this show.
Yeah.
They'll be so happy to get that move. Toronto fans will shut us down.
All I'm saying is I quote you on the Daily now. Darnell Nurse is what Seth Jones wishes all the haters were or was. Or all the haters wish was.
Darnell Nurse is who people think
Seth Jones is. Exactly. And that's the other thing, too, man. Seth Jones, like, you look at all the money that got dished out for defensemen in this, he is really not that overpaid. He's overpaid, but not by much.
Let's do a quick rank the blank here. Okay. We're going to do one because it is a holiday weekend.
Oh, wait. We didn't wrap up on who's still remaining in free agency.
Oh, yeah. Well, give us those names quick.
So, I did have them. Where'd they go? Oh.
Tarasenko is probably the biggest one.
Tarasenko is absolutely the biggest one. Real quick. Where is it? Wait, where? I had it. Hold on. Come back to me. It's almost easy. See what I did there.
Oh, I absolutely see what you did
All
there.
right, here we go. So as of 3:45 Eastern today, so maybe this might have changed, but it did because Jeff Skinner signed. Where's Jeff Skinner sign?
He signed with Edmonton.
That's right.
Which 1 year, $3 million for Skinner. I don't hate that deal.
Hey, the offensively rich get richer.
There's a lot of teams that are going to go, man, if we had known we could get Jeff Skinner 1 year, $3 million, we would have pulled the trigger on that for sure.
It's something I wouldn't have minded. I would have done it.
No, I would have done it for Minnesota too.
It's actually something I really thought was finally going to happen. I mean, he's been in free agent rumor smoke for us for like 3-4 years. That just never ended up happening.
They were always thinking like, how are we going to get out from under this contract? They finally bought him out, and
so
how it works out.
So yeah, Tarasenko is the biggest right now. We got an Adam Henrique out there. Tyler Johnson is sitting out there. Who else we got? A couple
Ryan
Stanley
Suter.
Cup. Ryan Suter. Couple. And we got Adam Henrique. We got Kyle Okposo, Stanley Cup champion.
I'm so happy for Okposo.
I know. James Van Riemsdyk. He's still going. Matthias Janmark. Shane Gostisbehere. You know what?
He signed.
Oh, did he?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say he signed with New Jersey. No, Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Not bad. Yeah. So, not too.
Oh, and I can't believe we didn't bring this one up there either. Matt Dumba to the Dallas Stars.
Oh, that's right. As if you, the one team you would, the one team you wouldn't, outside of Chicago, the one team you didn't want to see.
There were two teams that I go, man, I cannot cheer for Matt Dumba if he signs there. It's Chicago and Dallas.
Well,
and I'm going to hate it because I'm still going to end up cheering for him because I love Matt Dumba. But holy cow, are Stars fans going through and deleting tweets, going back and all that.
Oh, yeah.
The hate and vitriol that they tweeted out about Matt Dumba. They're going to have to go back on a lot of that one.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's, yeah, man. So it was good. And then, the Jake Gensel sweepstakes. We had a winner there.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Gensel, he signed a big contract too. 7-year deal, $9 million. Got paid.
And
Mateo called guy.
Yeah, Mateo called it out too. Yeah, Tampa gets their guy. And I guess, look, trading Stamkos for Gensel.
That's effectively the move.
That's
3 years ago, you want Stamkos on that deal. As it sits today, you absolutely want Gensel on that deal.
Absolutely. Is he as good? No.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You look at the production over the length of their contracts, Gensel should outperform Stamkos over the duration of the deal.
Yeah.
All right, let's do rank the blank, or we're not going to get to it.
All right.
Holiday weekend. We had Canada
Day.
Day yesterday. We got 4th of July coming up, U.S. Independence Day. And few things to me symbolize this time of year and those celebrations more than cookouts and grilling and barbecue.
Oh, hell yeah.
So your rank the blank today is top 5 things that you most like to eat off the grill.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay. Off the grill specifically. Let's go. All right.
So your first entry.
Hold on.
Bratwurst.
We love you, Mark. I know we went on the over and we thought we wouldn't take the over today. So
I thought we would take the over by like 5 minutes. We're going to take it by like 20, maybe more.
Yeah. This will be quick. But what'd you say? Bratwurst?
Bratwurst.
Hot take. I'm not a big brat guy. So 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not a huge brat guy. Now, switch that out for like Italian sausage. We might see it move up a little bit, but not much. I'm not a big brat guy.
Okay.
Or Polish or Italian sausage. Yeah.
Your second food on the list, burgers.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Deanna and I are complete opposites here. Brats are number one for her. Burgers, you know what? This is a first, Dan. This is a first. Normally this doesn't happen. 5 and now 1 are both filled.
Wow.
I love
you usually save at least one of those for your last pick.
Burger is easily number one for me. Both from the taste and eating perspective, and they are the most fun to grill, in my opinion, too. They're easy, but they're fun.
Third food, grilled corn.
Ooh. I've not made it myself. I've had it, obviously, plenty of times. I've just never been the one to do it.
Call HP. We will have a corn feed.
Him and I
in his garage.
We're gonna have to
watch hockey, drink beer, grill corn.
I'll have to ask him. Him and I might be going to the Cubs game this weekend because he will be in Chicago.
He will. This is so dumb. HP is going to Chicago,
and you're going to
Minnesota. You're staying put.
Hey, you could always just make a pit stop in Chicago.
I mean, I would if I was driving, but we're flying out, so.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Grilled corn, only because I'm still waiting for a couple things that's going to go 4. It's nothing against it. It's nothing against it. It is fantastic, but we're gonna go 4 there. Oh, nothing beats a good, just still on the stalk. Well, not on the stalk, but in the ear, in the thing, the green.
The husk.
Thank you. That's the word for it. My brain's also shut off.
Fourth food item, grilled watermelon.
Oh, what the hell? That is not where I thought that was going.
If you have not had grilled watermelon, this is your sign. Change your life. Grilled watermelon. Do not sleep on it.
I believe I have, and it's going to have to go 3.
Okay.
I definitely would flip 3 and 4 right automatically, but that's fine. It's got to go 3, which means, what did I put it to, Dan? I told you I'd get through that one quick.
The food you put at number 2, so I'm typing it in here.
You're missing 2 very key things. Okay. Well, actually, that's fair, though. Of all these things, that's fair. Yeah. Ooh. Dan, we got to get out to a brewery this weekend. Are you and Mateo going to hang out without us now? What the hell?
We very well might. We'll have to see what we can do here.
That's going to be like now then the next time I come to Minnesota, you also need to go to Minnesota, and I need to meet Mateo in person so we can chirp in person as opposed to on Twitter.
I'll tell you what, he should have sent you your SodaPod draft invite. Go to Minnesota for the draft next year.
And just be in person.
We'll get the fruit up. Well, because that's what they did this year was they brought all the Minnesota podcast guys together.
That's fair. It's fair.
And had that going, and it was sweet. So
that works for me. All right, so you know what? This is pretty accurate of these 5 things. That this makes some sense. Now on those kebabs, are we inserting some slices of onion in there in between? Some peppers.
Because you can't just do chicken alone on a skewer. You
gotta have some chicken, some peppers, some onions,
pineapple.
Oh yes, grilled pineapple is. Grilled pineapple might have gone number 2 if not for chicken kebabs.
Because that's the thing. Because like with the grilled fruits, you're caramelizing the sugars in the fruit.
Yeah,
it just changes the flavor. It's a game changer.
I have to say I've only had grilled watermelon like once, and clearly I don't remember it much, so I'm gonna have to do it again. Deanna knows what's up. Grilled pineapple. You put a grilled pineapple on a burger. Oh,
being a Chicago guy, I gotta ask. Pineapple on pizza.
Yes. And that's a hot take apparently, but I don't think it is. Pineapple can go on.
It's a hot take because you're Italian.
Yeah, I get it. 50% of my ancestors are pissed off at me right now and they're rolling in their graves, but that's 50% of them. The other 50% are German and they don't care as long as I have a beer in my hand. Here's the thing. Pineapple, I'm going to give you one of the best combos to eat on pizza. You might have tried it, but I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to the viewer, our collective viewers who are watching now or who will be watching on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, damn it. Hit that notification bell. I promise I'll send you something. I don't know what yet, but I'll send you something. Anyway, pineapple and pepperoni. It is one of the best sleeper pizza topping combos that you will ever try.
It's a Hawaiian pizza with a little bit more spice.
I mean,
that's what it boils down to.
Well, no, because a Hawaiian pizza also is supposed to have barbecue sauce instead of pizza sauce. I don't.
I've seen it done with pizza sauce.
So have I, and I've had it. The Italian in me.
That's the better way to do it too, instead of barbecue sauce. But
I agree. I don't think any type of sauce should be on a pizza other than pizza sauce. I'm not a big Alfredo sauce on pizza. I'm not a big barbecue sauce on pizza. I'm not a big ranch on pizza guy. I don't like any of that really. Oh, what do we got here? I was buckled on that soda stream. The boys weren't joking about the portions of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you just sold me.
Goes hard.
Look, I was already sold on joining with the invite, but now you've just sealed the invite. You've just sealed just sealed the RSVP.
You get to have Northland vodka. You get to have Grey Duck vodka. You get to have all the Minnesota beers.
Grey Duck vodka.
Yeah.
You mean like that stupid game that you play?
We're ending the show. Good night, everybody. No, but seriously, thank you to everybody who tuned in throughout the show tonight. We had a blast, had a ton of viewers, ton of comments throughout the show, and we love that live element, being able to interact with people throughout the show.
Hell yeah.
It makes it more fun for us. Hopefully it makes it more fun for you as well. We like to think of ourselves as a 5-star podcast with a 5-star audience. Hit the like, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. No show next week, just with all the vacation travel stuff going on.
Yep.
We figured no show next week. But 2 weeks out, July 16th will be the next show. Joel, is that going to be our all Rank the Blank show?
It very well could be, because I was just about to tell you, we are officially just in. So today was off season, but still official stuff.
We still have news. We are not going to have a ton of
shit to cover. No, it's
2 weeks
kind of, now we are really in off season mode. So you know what? Why don't we pedal that? The next show is the all Rank the Blank show.
All right. We will have some that are hockey related. We will have some that are not, just to mix things up.
We will go back and forth on each other.
In fact, I already have. Okay, that's the other one too. Is I've always been the one asking you.
I know.
You haven't been the one asking me. So,
and I'm gonna have to
come up with your producer skills to the test here, and
I'm gonna have to come up with a day of, because I get back from a vacation of my own that Monday or that Sunday.
Just on vacation. You were in Vegas.
I know.
Look at this guy.
Say, man. You never know. I'm taking the vacation now.
Can I work for you or with you? Either way.
We're hiring.
Send that link to your boy.
I got you.
All righty. Well, that's it for our show. He's Joel. I'm Dan. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody.
Happy birthday, America.